Good morning, everybody. We're ready. Yes, I think we're
going?
ready. Welcome. Happy Fiber Fairy Friday. We are in the midst of a week of rain. It rained all day yesterday, like all day, and I think we're getting more tonight. So the snail babies are going to bring us a little bit of color and lightness. This is a really fun project we came across when we got together with our certified instructors in April, and Joyce brought a few of her creations, and I thought that would be a good project to do with everyone. It's a version of a sprite. It's a sprite snail mashup and it's one of those ones kind of like pocket gnomes or hummingbirds or nests where we can use a huge variety of fiber, and it's a small amount of of the different fibers. So it's a great way to use up random stash and get really creative. And they take, I can make one in 20 minutes, but they take a short amount. They take a short amount of time.
Under an hour?
Under an hour, I think is safe. And so we based a fiber fairy on the project. We'll have a felt along on the 13th, I believe. 2 Fridays from now. Yeah. And today is a little different than our usual fiber fairy because we added a sail element. I wanted you guys to be able to round out what you need, with the advantage of the sail, because it does take, you want to have a variety of things on hand, especially like the locks and the top coat colors. So, Joyce is in the chat. She will be live with us, which is a feat of technological bigness, on June 13th when we do our felt along. Joyce is going to be live, and we're going to be working together at the same time. So you'll have two people to see and watch.
1 o'clock our time.
1 o'clock is
11 o'clock Joyce's time, probably.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. So for the fiber fairy today, the giveaway it's 2 tiers. I believe it's 30 and 55. I have all of the materials here, but I didn't write down the tiers. So this is. We could go overhead, Talbot, I guess, to talk about this. Let me get my papers out of the way. So the first tier is a bundle of...
It is 30.
30, okay. And then is it 55, I think?
Yes.
Okay. The first tier is a bundle of core. And what I wanted to include was a variety of values, because in the shell and in the body and in the face, you might have different top coats. So I was trying to give a mix of good base layers for your top coat colors. I'll go through this and then we'll show some sprites, and we can even do that simultaneously. So, for example, she has some core under here and under here, and then also some core in the shell. And we want that to be close, especially in value, to the top coat colors that we're using, so that if there's any stab through, it's all going to blend together and coordinate. You just sit right up there on your friend. Okay. So we have gray. I think this is lapis. This is what this is called. This one. And then, dark gray, jade heather, off-white chunky, which, by the way, you may have noticed is not as chunky as it usually is, but it will be again. And we addressed this, I think, in the cow video we just made, but we had a couple of batches because the mill actually moved, like the entire machinery, and they had to recalibrate and train new people. So we had a few batches in which the off-white chunky core was more like the rest of our dyed core. So thank you for your patience with that, but they're getting it back to the bigger thickness. And then Gnome Nude, which is great under it works for most of the skin tones. So that is your first tier. But yeah, it ends up being quite a big bundle.
Yeah.
This is more sprites than you're going to want to make. Probably it doesn't take very much fiber. Oh, I didn't do that well.
So to anyone new, if you order $30 of whatever you want on the website, this will be added to your box when we pack it.
Yes, you're not looking for this item online. It doesn't exist on the website. It's something that we're putting in with your order. And then the second tier is this gorgeous colored Shetland top coats. And we just tried to pick some fun colors that coordinate with the core colors. So we have heather, hedgerow, tropic, and woodpecker. I love tropic. So when we're making these, I'm mixing in if merino works well. If there's a specific color you want, plumage would be great because it has just that variation and a little bit of shine. Mm-hmm. Silks are fun to mix in and get the variety that we see in the shell and in the what are these called? Little antenna. Joyce was saying that the onesie is kind of the way to go. Mm-hmm. We call it a onesie. There's so much going on here, and here that it is nice for the body to be a little bit more, I think, just uniform. Right. But I'm sure you guys are going to do all kinds of creative stuff. So then to help round out your supplies for this, we put the merino, the silk, the locks, and plumage on sale today only. And also in the Fiber Fairy newsletter and description is a list of like what you need. So you need pipe cleaners, and we're using 6-inch pieces, which is half of the chenille stems that we sell. Or in Goods and Faves, we listed these Zen pipe cleaners. These are a true pipe cleaner. And
they're pokey.
They're a little pokey. They're made with cotton, but there's a little, I don't know if it's a plastic element. There's something there that is
grabby.
Pokey, but that makes it super grabby. So when you wrap this with wool, it's stuck. Speaking of being stuck, this also is going to be your friend. Impasto's on the Goods and Faves page, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Either the old cold wax medium or Impasto, because on all these little, I'll show a different one each time. On all these little hands and antennae, whatever these are, it helps just to have some of that and smooth it on, and you're good to go. Look, she has I had some leftover flowers from the cherry blossom project, so a few of mine have little flowers in their hair.
As they should.
As they should. They could have little skirts. Yeah, like you could really mash up some projects here. Oh, I love her hair on that one.
Joyce's original tiny sprites had half of the 6-inch wire. They were teeny tiny.
Teeny tiny. Yeah. I like this size. It's, yeah, you could go teeny tiny. And then fiber art bundles would be a really fun ad because of the variety of fiber that's in there.
That makes a fun onesie.
That would make a fun onesie, yeah, because the variation in the dyed merino. Oh my gosh, Milo's snoring very loudly. And the skin tone sampler would be perfect today also because I think Sassy just made a lot of those. Yeah, let's bring those in. And that's going to give you really nice range of options.
Like you used. Right?
What's that?
Did you use this?
I don't know if I made one with olive here. So those are the skin tones that we've created. The skin tones are formulated to felt directly very smoothly and evenly. Like they're very even toned. Even though we're mixing multiple fibers together, they have a really nice even tone. Oh, that's funny. I'm laughing at Joyce saying that she likes the sprite on top of the hummingbird. Yeah. I like the one, can you grab the one right on the mushrooms there? Lee told me, okay, so these have their snail, their shells on, I'm going to zoom in even a little bit more so you guys can really see. These have their shells on kind of like a little backpack. So I have the spiral sitting flat on the back. If you wanted to stick it off the back, like hers is, look, she has her hair up with a stick. Let's take that out. She's wild hair. If you want them to stick off the back, you can make a taco for the base of the snail shell, and then that gives you a nice way to attach it to the back. Lee made that suggestion, but we'll show that in the felt along for sure. And you can either leave these straight or give them a little spiral, little curl. So many options.
Tammy says she puts a belly bump on her toddler fairies.
Yeah,
the belly's cute.
I like a belly. I'm not doing a butt or anything because the shell is back there. So just keep it simple and do a little belly. I'm not doing any face. I think sometimes Joyce puts a little eye dents and little cheek puckers in hers.
So many color possibilities. You really just need all the locks because then the locks go with, you really, if you're just sitting there debating what fiber do I need, I'm a sucker for locks.
Yeah.
I feel like you can't have enough between that and this.
Yeah.
It's so fun to go through them and find the colors you want to use.
Yes,
like,
I enjoy the color combo process for sure.
The butt is in the shell. There has been some butt shell conversation happening here. You didn't know it, but yes, the butt's tucked up in there.
Yeah, so we're here to answer your questions. We've got a few people packaging orders as we speak. And Joyce says, mine are chunky.
Tina understands.
Yeah, we'll get Joyce definitely to do a little face, because I feel like when I do that, then I'm like, I'm not getting it in that simplified way.
Mm-hmm.
And then
She said it's a suggestion of a face.
right, and then I end up just making it going back to blank. So so if you guys weren't able to tune in last Friday, there's a couple of other things going on that we'll just reiterate. One is that we've been invited to provide the ornaments to decorate a tree at Longwood Gardens this Christmas. There is a page on the website Kyla created specifically for Longwood Gardens Christmas, and there you can see the links to Longwood, which will give you a little bit more of an idea about what that is, but it's a big opportunity and an honor. And then also a link to a sign up page that Kyla created. And we have a huge variety of projects there. Some are full. We wanted to get a variety and also get an idea of what's coming our way. So there's a lot of flexibility in the sign up thing. If there's something that's super you and you want to make and it's full, I'd say just put it in a different category and put a note like, right, I'm actually making whatever. Right. It's okay. So we did just add the snail babies to the list in case that floats your boat. Mm-hmm. And we did have a few questions about the anchor point for that, which I think I can demo here today in a few minutes. Longwood asked that the ornaments have some kind of anchor point, whether it's a wire loop or a fishing line loop, but they're going to provide their own wire hangers. They just need something to hook it into. So I'll show that. And then we also introduced a challenge for fanfare members, basically for this summer. We didn't create an informational page.
We do not.
Regarding the challenge. Okay.
I could put
It's in the newsletter. It was in the newsletter.
I could add something to the homepage.
Okay.
Like underneath the Longwood thing with a picture.
Okay. So the challenge is to use the 11 by 14 panels that we used for the cherry blossom project and make a different 2D, 3D combo. So it has to have a 2D, 3D combo. It does not have to be wet felted, but we do want to see the two different dimensions. So I made an example, Kyla made an example, and there's just, I know you guys are going to, go crazy with it. It doesn't need to be framed. It's just, we just did that for presentation. But if you're not real familiar with what that looks like, I would check our YouTube videos for the cherry blossom tutorial. Was that a lot? Was that a tutorial? Or it felt along?
Was a tutorial.
It was a tutorial. Okay. And
there's some really good ideas coming in.
Oh.
Some people
good.
like emails and
okay, good.
Some people have shared a little bit on fanfare.
Okay.
But there are some ideas in the works for the challenge, which
awesome.
Is exciting.
So
yeah.
To participate, you'll need the 11 by 14 cradle panel, which is on the website. I think there's still many left, mm-hmm. but we did have 200.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's over 100 left.
I doubt we're going to get 200 submissions, right. But and then it can be anything that you dream up. You will email Kyla at admin@Serafina Fiber Art to be officially considered having participated. And that means she'll register you, like you're going to get a $15 basically gift certificate
Yes.
and credit to your account. So in like kind of like a reward for participation. And then I am going to look at everything and we're going to pick a winner. And I you know, for me, that's
gonna be hard.
it's going to be hard. Oh my gosh, it's going to be, especially because there's only going to be one, which is like,
I've seen what people are saying they're making, and that's your challenge.
Yeah,
the challenge of the challenge.
I think like execution, complexity, creativity, you know, color, composition, you know, it's going to be a little bit, what's the word, subjective, for sure.
Yeah.
But don't worry. I mean, it's really just so that I could give away a frame that I bought because I wanted to. So, yeah. And then we were talking about kind of finding a way to present them. I'm not sure about that yet, just because it could end up being a lot if depending on how many entries we get. But please share on Fanfare. We'd love to see, unless you sort of want to protect what you're doing.
To share
You don't have to share, but love to see what you guys are doing on that front. And we asked that email submissions be made by August
31st, the
end of August.
Wait,
or 15th.
31st.
Okay.
I was just saying.
I know we have a few things going on.
I was going through the 30 days, have September, April, June, and November. Was trying to. August does have 31 days. So yes, it is through the summer. You don't have to register for it now. You could send it in on August 31st.
Yeah, there's nothing you have to let us know. Right.
We won't be actually looking to decide the frame winner until after the 31st, so that all submissions are in. And once you have it finalized, if you want to send pictures anytime, then I will issue the gift certificate. It'll come, I believe, in a separate email, the gift certificate.
Okay. A few people asking about sorry samplers. Yeah, they're a byproduct of the blanket making process, so we don't have them. We're not like, I'm not ordering saris to make them, or so sorry about that.
How to attach the cradle panel to the frame?
It depends on the depth of the frame. There's different hardware options. So if the panel is sticking out of the back of the frame a little bit, you can use a framing gun, which goes into the side and puts a staple in, and then a staple gun on top of that. I've showed it, I believe I show it in the cherry blossom tutorial. I feel like we showed the back
of the actual frame.
I feel like we showed the back. Yeah. So yeah, it sometimes takes some special hardware, and it's going to be tough to take these to a framer because they can't set it upside down. So it's a little tricky for sure.
You can send multiple pictures of whatever you make.
Yeah.
It can be a little tricky to get like straight on. You're
because
not
of the
necessarily
dimension.
getting the dimension.
Yeah.
So a sort of sideways picture also is great. I mean, if you're able to do with your phone, like a quick little video.
Oh, a video could be fun.
Yeah, just it depends on what attaches to an email size-wise, but something, even like a 10 or 15 second video. Anything like that is good. The impasto is on the goods and faves page under,
Is it under felting aids or art
Yes.
supplies? Okay,
I believe felting aids.
Fur for foxes, I would look at tabby. Irish is a little dark, and maybe some camel, and I like to put some gray in there, so some wolf. But it just depends on how you're felting. You could also mix in top coat, merino, plumage, anything that's going to change the fur, tone the fur color a little bit, and make it more feltable, like if you're doing shingling. So
I just linked the panels for anyone who needs that. Sorry, I'm behind on questions.
it's all right.
Question about payment. Ideal doesn't seem to work. I don't know
Ideal?
what ideal is.
I don't know what ideal is. Don't know about Power Wax. We haven't had an update lately, so I couldn't say the timing on that.
So the flesh tones, you can do, the skin tones, you can do either a sampler pack or individual colors. And I will post a link. If you just type in skin into the search bar, they will show up for you.
Oh, a little bunny bear, rosy cheeks would be really cute on the fair ones.
What did I just do? Someone asked to see the, they're in the house carded section. I just linked those skin tones.
Okay.
Someone asked to see the mushrooms up closer because they're thinking of the challenge for the mushrooms.
I'll go over it.
It's slightly precariously
I
perched
think we
over
could do
there.
it. I think we could do it. There's an entire mushroom and forest floor tutorial,
I believe.
So definitely check
Yeah.
that out.
I think the mushroom was a tutorial and the forest floor, I feel like we did a felt along for the actual
We can't
forest
keep
floor.
track of our own selves.
I know, and I hope I remember to link them and stuff.
The mushrooms were really fun. And the forest floor is a blast because you're making all this textury surface. I used these little wrapped wires sticking up here. It's hard to see at this angle. And this was a little bit of a piece
nice.
of plumage, I mean, it's just a chance to get creative. We did not have the impasto when we made the mushrooms. We had the cold wax, which is what is on these mushroom caps. Now I want to make mushrooms. Mushrooms would be great ornaments for.
Yeah, those are all full. I was tempted to
Oh
add
yeah,
more.
mushrooms for full.
Yeah.
So if you have whoever asked about, I didn't see whoever asked about the mushrooms. If there's any specific question, we are happy to answer it.
I do not know timing on the Power Tex. I see that is sold out right now.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Rena's asking if she wanted to buy jewel tones to spin garland. What colors would you suggest?
Oh, geez. I mean, that's just.
Which fiber to start?
Yeah. I mean, that's. I don't feel like I could pick that out for you. It's total preference of what you're looking for, how you spin, what kind of. I guess I would look at plumage. The Shetland and the Corriedale. I don't know, Rena, if you have a way to make some fiber art bats, whether you have a blending board or a drum carder. Yeah, the plumage will be slippery. The Shetland and Corriedale will have a little bit more grip. You could throw some silk in there. That's exciting. I can't wait to see what you make. I think it'd be fun to do. I want to spin some too. I want to spin locks and some beehives. Like I did I don't know if you guys remember, I made that big life-size wisteria, and the purple yarn was beehive yarn. I feel like for the garland, we want to get it kind of some chunky element to it so that it shows up well on the tree.
Rena has a drum carder, so she's thinking colors.
Yeah. Good. I mean, yeah. I just look at the site and pick out whichever jewel tones excite you.
The Corriedale in particular, I feel like is.
The Corriedale has jewel
Yeah,
tones.
I was just looking.
Which one's that? Is that Shetland?
This is the Corriedale.
That's the Corriedale.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a combo though of Shetland and Corriedale.
Yeah, Joyce was also suggesting the fiber art bundles because there's so much texture in there. So that could be a way to go. Look at a fiber art bundle, get kind of the color family that you like, and then round it out with complementary colors.
Question, someone was saying, where do we get the wood to mount the mushrooms on?
Oh, I just find it at random yard sales, resale shops. I just pick it up whenever I see it. I don't have a source necessarily. Part of the fun of treasure hunting and thrift shopping is looking for stuff that I can use in felting projects. Like I need a reason.
To get random stuff.
Mm-hmm. Do we still have some of these?
I believe so, yes.
This was the Fiber Fairy giveaway for the cherry blossoms.
We do have a good number.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they're listed in the clearance closet, and they have a nice kind of variety of supplies that especially could be used for the
definitely
for
there's
the snail
plumage,
babies. Yeah, there's core, there's plumage,
silk.
there's silk, there's hankies. Yeah.
Jean just mentioned the cow. She's very excited about the cow.
I'm not sure if this is the cow. I think the cow might be on the table over there.
Okay.
But yeah, we've got this.
The cow meaning
The one I made
one
in
you
the
made in the
tutorial.
tutorial.
We have the belted Galloway tutorial coming up, probably 1 to 2 weeks. And it will be a supply pack and a tutorial. We're saying it's a level 3. It's a big project, but I kept it on the simple side.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have a ton of detailed shapes. It's a lot of wrapping and fuzz. Floofing, but they're a lot of fun, and the armature is great. It's the first time I think we've made a cow armature, and it could be used if you wanted to make a dairy cow or a belted Galloway or anything else. So oh wait, did I say belted Galloway? I meant Highland cow. Yes.
Somebody joined late and is interested in the Fiber Fairy items again.
Okay, we set her over there. So the Fiber Fairy today is 2 tiers. We can go overhead again, Talbot. And then sections of the website that we think you'll find beneficial. Items for the snail babies are on sale. So check out merino, tussa and mulberry silk, locks, and plumage, I believe, are the sections that are on sale. So the first tier with a $30 order, this will be added to your box, bundled way more beautifully than I just put this together, is 4 36-inch lengths of core. We have dark gray, jade heather, gnome nude, and off-white. And this weighs about 2.5 ounces. We did this by length, so the weights will vary a little bit. And then the second tier at 55 is 24 inches each of 4 Shetland top coats, woodpecker, hedgerow, heather, and tropic. Just some fun colors to work into your snails.
Someone's asking about flowers, and they're wanting to get tacky sticks, the tacky wires. Would you suggest dark or light
for the stems?
Yeah,
I think you're safe either way. I guess if I went to get some, I would pick up dark.
Okay.
Because you're going green usually. So, but they get evenly and well covered. So,
and the other option is if you want to get cloth covered wire, you can get a sticky bun and just rub that along the wire, and it will give it the grab.
It's funny, Ian. Yeah, lots of good stuff coming up. Let me work on this anchor point idea.
Yes, somebody had asked about if they're making an ornament, like how long of a loop. Longwood told us they will be adding their own wire to whatever connecting point is on the ornament. So depending on what you make, something might be perching on the wires, on the tree branch, something might actually be hanging from the tree branch. So you're going to want to do a little loop in the place that makes the most sense.
This is going to be hard to see because it's clear.
I'll go over it.
Thank you. But what I usually do is thread.
You can see that?
Nope. I certainly cannot.
You got
Thread a biggish needle because it needs to be able to go all the way through your project. And then I leave a long end, and then I try to find like where's that centered
So it's
balanced
not gonna hang.
place. Yeah, so he's not gonna be boop, boop. And then I go up from the bottom and out of the top. Leaving this coming out of the bottom. And then I go back down to relatively the same place. And then you might want to put a pencil or something here. But so for Longwood, I'd say we don't want this to be like super long because I think they're going to put their own wire there. And then I just tie this.
So you have maybe an inch.
The pencil helps me not lose my loop. You know what I mean? And the hedgehog's particularly tricky because of all that hair. But yeah, I just tie this off by taking both pieces together and do a knot at the bottom. And I gave myself, because the hedgehog's so hairy, I gave myself a little bit of room. So now he hangs his.
So some will hang. Some will make more sense to put on top. If you're making a nest, you'd want to do the opposite, basically, and have a little anchor point on the underside that they can wire and then secure onto the tree. But they do need to be able to secure.
I would think things like this, we can email and ask, but I would think things like this, they could like just take the wire and go around the tree branch. I'm not sure what kind of wire they're using, but maybe I'll send her a few pictures and,
Or do they want a little
or do they want a little loop in her
little
butt?
little loop coming out the butt to
Yeah.
wire so they can wire it?
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're sort of making the.
Let's do a little loop in the butt.
Otherwise, you're like maybe trapping the legs.
Yeah, you don't
Anyway.
want the legs. Okay. We're going to give you a butt loop.
Rena's saying, would it be a good idea to put a small tearaway paper tag so they could find it?
Yeah, that would be a brilliant idea. Piece of yarn. Like any, yeah, that's a great idea. I love that. So for the butt loop, how am I going to hide? I think I'm going to go down here. I want the knot to be hidden. So I'm going to go down here. And then back up.
We will definitely give them some guidance also on, if it's a nest, you're going to find the anchor point underneath. If it's something like a chipmunk, like you're not necessarily hanging it, you'd want the chipmunk, perching on a branch. So
I'm wasting a lot of fishing line here. You're going to find a more efficient way not to. Now, with this one, I want this to be on the tight side because I don't want a long butt loop because then it's not going to be sturdy. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm trying to get this. What did I do? Hold on. I'm having slight failure. Okay. So I've got my two pieces coming up. I've got my loop tight around the pencil, and then I want to make my knot tight close. As close as I can.
So yeah, whichever ornament you make will make the most sense, but they definitely don't want anything removable or able to fall off or anything. So they do wire them on.
She's hooked. Yeah, I feel like if they put a wire through there and then also got her like set up properly.
And I have zero concerns about how they're going to make them look because
Oh, I'm gonna sneeze.
because they're Longwood. And
Yes.
they're going to look amazing.
Everything they do. Person, but I think I've got it under control. Everything they do at Longwood is spectacular.
Joyce says we don't think that with the butt loops they'll be hung upside down.
I'm having faith. I'm having faith in others.
You could always change their stance so they're look like they're walking, and then you do the head loop.
Yeah, they could have a head loop if you want them to hang. They just be.
Right? You don't know how. You just don't want them to like hang.
You can give them a head loop and a butt loop, and then they have options.
Right? Pollen? You're not too sneezy.
Thank
in the
you.
pollen.
I know.
It's just one. All right.
Yeah.
Longwood. This is good.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Fiber Fairy,
Panel
Longwood,
challenge.
Panel Challenge, Cow. Anything else? Oh. Oh, and thank you. That means a lot. I would love to hear from you. Anne was referring to in the newsletter I recently shared my blog. So I really, really appreciate those of you who signed up to follow, and thank you in advance for any engagement with that. What's a vest? What's a Vesa?
What?
I don't know. Like, it's hard to. I want to be engaged with you guys, but you guys are actually on the on the computer, so it's kind of a weird.
Maybe it's Visa.
Modern dilemma of.
Yeah, maybe it's Visa, but it's like correcting wrong.
Yes. Please take as many photos of your 2D, 3D pieces as you need or as you want to. Because there's that dimensional aspect, it's nice to get around it to see, how far things are protruding and which parts are 2-dimensional and which parts are 3-dimensional. For photography, I always like a filtered natural light. Most of us don't have a light set up at home. When I was getting started and on Etsy, I had a northeast facing window on my 3rd floor, a great big window, and I always set up there, and I loved my pictures. But you don't want direct sunlight. If you're in a window that is getting direct sunlight onto your project, I would hang something sheer just to filter it a little bit. You could use a plastic sheet or anything just to soften that a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then a great way, if it is coming from one direction, you could put a white panel, a piece of foam core, a white painted board, anything white on the opposite side, and it bounces the light back onto the other side of the object, and it gives a really nice reflected light quality, so that you're not completely like this side is in light and this side is in shadow. When you put that white board, the light bounces back and lights up a little bit of the back side. I think that combo is a really nice way to photograph something 3-dimensional. Mm-hmm. If it's something that's completely 2-dimensional, you're going to want a really nice even light on the front of the project so that your photograph has, is capturing your 2-dimensional piece evenly.
Someone's saying they thought we sold brown 22 gauge wire.
We had it for a short time.
Okay.
We did have them. We have black and white.
Mm-hmm.
We do not have brown.
Mm-hmm. We had green at one point too, and we don't have green anymore. Charlene said she just found us.
Like right now?
I know. Hello. Good. I was lost. It's just so crazy. Like this giant world that we have now with the internet. I just, sometimes I come across something like on YouTube and I say to my friends, "Oh, have you heard of so-and-so?" And they're like, "Yeah, where have you been?" And I hadn't seen it. So I'm glad you found us, and I hope if you're needle felting that you dive in, because we've been doing this for 13, 14 years together, and we have put out a lot of information and content.
Don't even remember.
That's why you find us going, was that a felt along? Was that a supply? Like, we don't, someone asked about the witch yesterday, and I was like, oh yeah, we did do that. That was COVID days, and I was live streaming, and so yes, there is a lot. The YouTube channel is set up with playlists, which can be a nice way to sort sort things out. If anyone is interested in painting, we are going to paint together near the end of June.
I think the 20th.
Okay. I'm not sure if it's on the calendar yet.
I don't know that I.
Okay. But we did create a time lapse of the project. It's a cow, and that in the YouTube playlist, one of them is, I think, drawing and painting with Sarah or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be clear. I don't remember the exact title, but that is there. And
paint puddle. No, yeah.
can I link it? Can you link it?
Sure.
Okay. And then we have a separate Facebook group for painting. It's called the Paint Puddle. I think it's the Paint Puddle : with Sarah Renzulli. Yeah, so that is also going on between painting, writing, blanket making, and needle felting and pickleball. I feel life is good and complete.
People are enjoying your blog and your soothing voice.
Good, thank you.
And
Thank
then
you. That's very encouraging.
Then Rebecca from Cleveland, my people, said that she also enjoyed Milo's voice, which I questioned because that's something.
Yeah.
But people are putting out the Milo love.
Good.
Which I was channeling Milo for so many years, and now it would involve a lot of sleeping because he sleeps a lot.
Oh yeah, no, he's not so sassy anymore. In fact, last night he got just downright. He was he fell off the bed. And then I was half asleep, and I was like, he's not getting back in bed. He's not getting back in bed. And so I turned on the light and looked, and he just had his head in a corner.
He was all sad.
Well, he did. It was like a shelf on the wall, and he was just facing the corner. Yeah,
he doesn't bark. I don't know if you've noticed that there's not a lot of barking on the tutorials. He used to bark at everything, and now he doesn't hear so well. So he's just sleeping. So he does his sleepy thing, and we chat about Proverbs.
Ah, spinning. Yeah, we got to spin again. Yeah, he is sleeping. He's sleepy and grubby.
What did you do before this? I can't imagine you as a bank teller.
I think, I didn't say it out loud to myself, but there was no way I was going to have an inside walls 9 to 5 job. So out of school, I was a line cook, and I really liked that. I love to cook, and I loved working in, certain aspects of working in the restaurant. I loved the pressure. I loved the organization. I loved the prep work. I loved knowing that I was sending out food that people were going to be excited about. So I had a lot of opportunity there. I was offered some higher level cooking positions, but I didn't see it. I wanted to paint, and I didn't. I'm a morning person, and that was a very, very night owl job. So I backed off of that and started painting, and then those were the starving artist days. And then I always worked some random retail job, but those jobs exposed me to business, and it just kind of all came together. But for the bulk of my 20s and 30s, I was painting for galleries, sporting art, horses, country life, and doing commissions. So tons of dogs and horses in oil painting, and then raising a family, and then found needle felting. and fiber art. I had to learn everything.
Mm-hmm.
Still learning.
Mm-hmm.
And you found each of us.
Oh my gosh. You know, it's not too much to say that I was on the right path because of the way the staff here came together and how it all happened. It was just like the universe going, here you go. Meet Kyla. Meet Talbot. Meet Jennifer. Meet Sassy. And actually, I've said this before. Sassy and I worked. One of the retail jobs I had was at a tack shop, and I worked with Sassy's mom, and I knew Sassy when she was like 12.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a full circle thing, and but yeah, I feel nothing. At this point, we're so, like, I used to, like, we were doing, like, what's it called? Procedure documents, and,
Yes.
like, we were like, we got to be able to, like, you know, anybody step in and do anything, or have somebody, a new employee, be able to, and at this point, I'm just like, no, everybody... We need everybody. We're all super specialized. So it's a really wonderful, integrated, needed dynamic that's happening here that I'm grateful for on a daily basis. So thank you for asking.
How do you felt a raindrop?
Is this a rhetorical
It's
question?
not. They actually want to know. They said something about like a bubble, and maybe it being in the ocean tutorial, but I don't know that you've ever felt it a raindrop.
I've never felt it a raindrop. I guess I would approach it as a sketch first. Like, I would look at enlarged images of raindrops and see what's happening there, and then try to create it. I guess 3-dimensionally, are you saying, or 2-dimensionally?
I'm not sure what they're asking.
Yeah.
I mean, I would guess 2D, but
That's not one I was prepared for. Yeah, I don't think I have a felted raindrop
it's
answer.
like painting a raindrop.
Mm. Yeah, Milo's gonna go to the vet soon and see what he needs to be. It's definitely been a turn in the last like 3 to 4 months. So get him situated, get him as comfortable as I can.
We do not offer the Lion supply pack anymore. We have a list of supplies, right?
I think that's one of the ones that.
Right. I'm trying to remember. I will check the links there. But if you click into the Felton University, we now have a list.
We had a conversation about like some supply packs being on rotation or just once in a while, or because it was just getting to be a lot.
I'm gonna link the Lion supply list.
And also bear with us, as we've mentioned, we lost the 40 top coat colors on the website. I think it was called New Zealand Domestic Blend. That mill is not making that anymore, and that's been a regular for us since we started, and those fibers are included in our supply packs and our house carded blends. So we're trying to keep everything consistent, but a lot of times over the years, items in your supply pack are going to be different than what I use in the tutorial. Like I said, we try to make very understandable substitutions, but that is an aspect of this business that with the supply packs.
Yeah, and a complete tutorial that took hours and hours to film 10 years ago that we've had to change fibers. We're not like refilming. And even if we did, 2 years from now, the fibers could change again. So
Yeah.
we are substituting to the best of our ability. Glass beads for raindrops. That's an interesting idea.
Oh, someone mentioned the beading tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
That was with Jenny, who works here, and that was a fun project. I was making, Kyla was making pillows.
Mm-hmm.
I was making vessels, so we made snowballs. I made icicles. I can't remember what we beaded specifically with Jenny, but we do have a tutorial.
It's under the mini tutorial. Wet felted, pre-felt, beaded embellishments.
Okay. So on the website, under free tutorials, it's under, what's that subcategory?
Wet felt, mini tutorials.
Mini tutorials. We did wet felting with beaded embellishments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lots and lots of stuff. The theme for Longwood is jewels and gems. So that is an opportunity to add some bling to, if it's appropriate.
To a little elf hat or a little
Yeah.
snail baby.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Anybody have anything else? I think we're ready to roll. Go get some shipping done.
Yes.
Very excited to felt with you all in 2 weeks.
It's fun to see everyone brainstorm in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
How would you make a bright nest?
I don't know if I have any nests.
The locks?
The locks, and then something like white and downy on the inside, or the eggs having a real nice contrast to the. I don't know that the underside of the nest needs to be super bright, but it could be. I think nests, it's fun to take it and not make it literal gray brown, make it
Put in.
make it sort of over the top. Nests over there. I feel like I've taken all my nests home because I love them so much.
The cow tutorial, we're looking at about 2 weeks, probably. Ooh, Jean knows I'm going on vacation.
Oh yeah! Wow,
I
nice.
know. We've
Gonna miss her.
We've been emailing.
Oh, spindle, yeah. I can do that. I think I have hesitated to do that because I'm not the drop spindle pro. So in the meantime, I would definitely just look them up on YouTube because a lot of people are better at it than I am. So
Somebody has 2 panels. One is a comical idea and a different idea for the second. Can I enter 2?
yeah, why not? Right? You're making 2.
Yeah, we want to see them.
Yeah, we want to see that.
Elf shoes with little jewels or beads would be fun.
Yes. Yes, so much felting, so little time.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. We're going to go get your orders out in good time, and we look forward to hearing about what you're working on Fanfare. You can share the Longwood ornaments on there as well. That might clue other people in to, knowing that that's going on if they didn't hear about it. I think right now we're getting close to being in really good shape for that. It's been a beautiful response, and we're going to show up strong. I mean,
Yes.
It's not a competition.
I mean, we're going to have the best treat, but it's not a competition.
But I do like the idea of walking through there and I'm so excited. I
Yeah.
think, yeah. So we appreciate you all, and can't wait to see your ornaments. And it's gonna be exciting to see like the first one arrive. You know, we're gonna start getting boxes.
Yep.
And your
It's gonna be like
and your
Christmas.
cradle panel
Yes.
pictures.
From now until
Yeah.
Christmas. It's gonna be like Christmas.
Yeah. We just really set ourselves up to receive packages every day. So, thank you. Yeah, we're going to look forward to the Felt-Along in 2 weeks. And we did communicate with Joyce and have a little trial run. Talbot figured out how to join us together. So, hopefully that goes smoothly. I think it will. And we can definitely make these together real time, I think, because they're quite simple. There's just a few simple steps. So
Definitely.
yes.
All right.
All
When will
right.
the cow be out? About 2 weeks.
Yep.
Maybe sooner.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.